Hey, best lifers, how are you doing? And if this is your first time, hi, I'm Denise. I live in my 2014 Nissan NV 200 cargo van called Dragonfly. And I am basically traveling, spending time with the people I love and friends, and also living the best rest of my life, right? And some of that has to do with what I eat. One of the videos that I did that a lot of people had questions about was related to how I eat and how that has changed my health and some of the things that have been going on in my life over the past 12, 13 years, right? So let's get into it. One of the things that I did recently was I just started seeing a functional medicine doctor. And so a lot of people are like, what's that? So I am not a medical professional. Let me start off there. So these are my experiences that I'm sharing with you. So please do not hold it as, but the way that I would consider or describe a functional medicine doctor is when you go to your regular, say, medical MD, right? Or your primary care physician. Typically, they're going to ask you, well, what are your symptoms? What are you feeling? What's happening, right? And then they will find a medication that will address those symptoms or that symptom, right? So that's like your regular run of the mill. When I think about functional medicine doctors, or sometimes I see DOs, which are doctor of orthopathy, I think it is. Don't quote me. Like I said, I have no knowledge. But anyway, I just know it's a DO. What I find when I go to doctors that are in those particular areas, they look at the holistic perspective. So they look at what are your lifestyle, habits, everything from your exercise, not just what you put in your body, how stressful your life is. What are you doing to combat that stress? They also look at your background. They look at your family history. They look at your health history. So to give you an example and perspective, so with this functional medicine doctor, my first appointment was over 2 hours long. I had also already done a whole write-up of everything that I could remember about my family's medical history, as well as like a week's worth of the journaling what I ate, as well as like how much water I drank and when I drank and what time I ate, all of those kinds of things. So all of that to say, like, even to be specific, where after they took quite a few vials of blood to do different tests, but more importantly, they did some of those tests are like on nutrient content, like, so finding out what my, potassium and magnesium, and I've found, and one of the reasons why I even decided to go to this type of doctor is that I've found that particularly there were certain nutrients that I was deficient in. And even though my other doctors saw those things, they would prescribe a medication, like literally be like, here's a prescription for potassium, or, take some magnesium over the counter, but not really have a conversation with me about why is your magnesium low. Some of them would definitely recommend like what I can eat in order to make that improve. Like how I even found out about low potassium. One time I was going in, my GI doctor wanted me to go do a colonoscopy. And my potassium was so low, they couldn't do the procedure. They literally stopped, halted everything, and said, look, you could like code on the table just from doing the scope with your potassium this low. And so he prescribed me a month's worth of potassium and rescheduled the appointment. So again, when I think about a functional medicine doctor or a DO, they really do look at a holistic view of things. With this doctor, she took quite a few vials of blood, and not only doing like your regular medical tests, but also was running tests on like even metals, like how much of that's going on in my body. Looking at my vitamin D, my vitamin B, vitamin K, all of those kinds of things. But additionally, went as far as DNA, looking at what's going on in my family's history. I've been to a hematologist before, and there were some things that were discovered about how my body processes vitamin B or folate, as well as like how, there's some family history that I'm aware of. So there were some things, conversations I was able to have, and things that she was like, okay, we need to go ahead and check on those, as well, like all kinds of tests, a lot of tests, let me just say that. But I'll follow up once all of those tests have been completed and all of that stuff. But I say all of that, so she left me with homework to do. My homework is, she wants me to take my current diet, which is, like I said, I call it, flexitarian. It's primarily pescatarian, but like I tell people, if I want a slice of pizza with pepperoni or with, eggs with bacon, historically I would do that. Not often, but if I wanted to. But for the most part, I focused my diet on vegetables and eating fruit because I really enjoy eating those, but I would throw in seafood every couple of days. So she's suggesting, and I've actually done this before, AIP, which is the autoimmune protocol, which is not a diet that is completely plant-based. They do actually include meats, but different quality of meats. So like she had even mentioned, it's all right if I wanted to do pork, but she was suggesting that, okay, you need to go find local farmers who do pork differently, that aren't gonna include nitrates and all of the things that you get in the packaged pork that you buy at the grocery store. So that was one thing. Another thing that she said with the AIP diet was that since I do travel, that's a plus, because what she was suggesting is that, and I got, something in my hair. It'll be all right though. But what she was suggesting is that I start going to local farmers markets and, buying organic, fruits and vegetables, but more importantly, local farmers, just because of the quality of the vegetables and the fruits that I would get wherever I am. So that's one of the things that I have definitely, what that means is, so let me be clear. That means getting rid of all the grains. So no oatmeal, no bread, no rice, no pastas, and just really eating a diet that is 100% fruits, vegetables, and, occasional seafood when I choose to, just a couple of days out of the week. And like I said, I don't really shop in the middle of the grocery store, but I have found on the road, I would, if I was buying stuff in, I would try to get shelf-stable food. So I have been eating like rice noodles, and I'm gonna pause this for a second. I'm gonna have to plug up my phone. Hold on. All right. So life is better. So I have been eating things that are like shelf stable, like certain cookies, or eating crackers that I buy to make with a tuna salad. My favorite meals still remain, like even the salad kits. I wouldn't really be able to get those because a lot of those, the dressings and the things that are in the dressings, I have to make my own dressing. So you're gonna see in the next couple of months, you'll see me doing a whole lot more cooking and sharing a lot of those things, because I have tons of recipes and tons of different things that I love to eat, but it's gonna change. I've found also eating on the road, as much as I do enjoy taking part in finding restaurants and new places that I go to, I have found that a lot of restaurants are using MSG now. And I say now, when I was younger, like 20 something years ago, people used to like always be like proud to say no MSG, but I've seen where things have turned, and it's very common now. Like even in recipes where I see chefs cooking online, they'll even say, oh, and put a little MSG. I know that I don't respond well to MSG. I typically get a headache, and it just doesn't make me feel good. So that has been an issue with some of the restaurants that I've gone to. And how I know is sometimes I'll ask and I'll say, hey, do you use MSG? That happened to me last year when I was in California. I didn't feel well. I literally, it did not stay down. Let's say that way. And I called them and I was like, hey, do you guys use MSG? And she was like, yeah. And, and it was just sort of like, and what, like, what's wrong with that? Like, that's cool. That's what makes them come back. But, and no shame if somebody else is cool with that. That's cool. Nothing's wrong with that. It's just not something that works good for my body. So I say all that to say, I just wanted to come on, just kind of update you on what's going on, what you'll start seeing. You'll start getting more things regular for me. It's been really hectic. There's been a lot of things going on. Fortunately, good things. I cannot complain. I am so grateful. I'm so blessed. Shout out to all of the folks in Western North Carolina. The family that I stayed with when I went back in July to the gathering, they were Firefly gathering. They were affected by all of the flooding and the things that went on as a result of Hurricane Helene. So just really sending prayers out. But that's an example of a community there. Like, they would go and sell their goods at the farmer's market. They got their meats from locally, animals that were brought up and raised locally. As a matter of fact, in the dinner that we were cooking that night, if you go back to that video, you'll see the dinner that we were cooking, they actually used lard from pork meat. And I was not really affected by it in a negative way at all. And it tastes so good. And it was because these were animals that were raised very different than, the ones that you may see in some of the brands you see in the grocery store. But again, raise them up in prayer, raise them up in donations and helping out in whatever way you can. Sending our prayers out to all of the families that are affected by what was going on. But to go back to what I was talking about, some of the things that you'll see coming up is just talking about how my diet will change or improve, I want to say. I'm not going to say change. It's going to improve because there are some things that I need to do right now. And I'll share some other things that will be going on. So yeah, I just wanted to get on. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope fall is treating you good. Yeah, I'm excited. Fall is usually one of my favorite seasons, and especially as the holidays come on up. So I will be seeing you. I will be posting and all of that stuff. Please, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you enjoyed this video and you watched all the way through, hey, give it a like. If you would like to hear more about what I'll be talking about, as well as the travels that I have been making, I have been traveling. I have been consistently on the road since like March till now, and I still have a couple of events that are still happening. So you will be seeing all of those and some coming up soon. But if you would like to see those, if you're new here, please subscribe. And again, comments, questions, feel free to drop them in. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more content from this channel, hit subscribe. If you have a comment or a question, drop it in the comments. See you next time.